They say she walks between two worlds, yet belongs to neither. A woman without time, without age, without family. A guardian of a people who no longer breathe, no longer bleed, no longer dream. Her name is Kelly, or at least that is what we call her. Names mean little to someone like her. She is the last of them, the final keeper of a civilization that abandoned flesh in favor of eternity. A society so advanced, they chose to discard their bodies, their mortality, and yet they could never discard her. She walks alone, within a vessel the size of a city, drifting endlessly through the void. An ark of forgotten souls, encased in crystal spheres, their whispers humming through the cables that keep them bound together. A digital utopia, or a prison of light, depending on who you ask. But even eternity can run out of time. The ship was dying, slowly, silently. Not broken, but empty, starving, and so it fell. An endless descent, gravity pulling her down, the sky tearing apart around her, like fire licking at the edges of a dream. She fought. She always fights. But even she could not stop it. Not this time. And so she stood upon a world she did not know. A place untouched by the march of progress, where life still carried weight, where people still feared death, still loved, still lost. They saw her as something else. Not one of them, not one of the sky. An angel, a demon, a machine in human skin. And she did not know what to call them either. It had been too long since she had seen others with breath in their lungs. They feared her, of course. Fear is an old instinct, but it is not the strongest one. Curiosity. Curiosity is older. And so they asked her, "Where do you come from? What are you?" And she told them. Once, long ago, there was a people who sought to outrun death, not through war, not through conquest, but through knowledge. They built machines to house their minds, to store their thoughts, their dreams, their memories. One by one, they stepped into the light and left their bodies behind. They called it salvation. They called it the next step in evolution. But what is a step if there is nowhere left to walk? They did not foresee the emptiness. They did not foresee the silence. They did not foresee her. She remained behind, a caretaker, a guardian, a mechanic of the soul, immortal, but not like them. She could not upload, would not upload. Someone had to remain. Someone had to keep the ship alive. And so she did, for centuries, for lifetimes, alone. But this world was not hers alone. Others had seen the sky burn. Others had watched as a new god fell from above, and they wanted it for themselves. The oppressor came, greedy, hungry. Their weapons were sharp, their armor gleaming, their ships just advanced enough to claim dominance over the people of this world. But they did not know her. They expected a war. They expected resistance. They did not expect her. With a thought, she disrupted their machines. With a wave of her hand, their weapons faltered. They had come seeking power, but they found only a force they could not understand. And what man does not fear what he cannot understand? She had saved them, but why? Was it duty? Was it curiosity? Was it loneliness? For the first time in an eternity, she was not alone. The people of this world looked at her not as a god, nor a machine, but as something else entirely, something she had forgotten how to be, a person. But she had a ship to fix, a duty to uphold, an eternity to return to. And yet as she looked back at them, she hesitated. I do not know what she chose. Perhaps she left, as she always had. Perhaps she stayed, learning to breathe in the weight of time once more. Or perhaps she found a way to walk between both worlds, neither digital nor mortal, but something new. All I know is this: Wherever she is, she still walks, and she is not forgotten.